World's Greatest Dad, which is one of the Robin Williams, not the early funny ones. I mean, Robin Williams has made some really terrible family comedies. I mean, he's also made some great films. Obviously, he's in Fisher King.
I like Patch Adams, can I just say? It's a great film.
Okay.
It's good.
Fine. I don't know where to go from that. Okay, so here...
That's how to shut Mark up.
This
Just
is,
say
I
you
like Patch Adams. So here he plays the father of an absolutely horrible, and this was the phrase that I was trying to work this out, a self-asphyxiating internet onanist, a teenager who is just horrible beyond belief.
Is it exoticized?
No. It's just, and the teenager is horrible and doesn't have any friends and everybody hates him. And then, as part of his asphyxiating internet onanism, the teenager dies. And the father, played by Robin Williams, then fakes the suicide note to say that actually he was a sensitive soul who was alone in the world and had a kind of Kurt Cobain factor to him. The next thing you know, the suicide note becomes a hit and a cult around the school. Everybody starts saying that they really love the guy, and Robin Williams' character then fakes his diaries, because Robin Williams' character is a failed writer. He fakes the diaries. Suddenly the diaries become a huge thing and he ends up on television. Here's a clip.
He was a sweet boy. Sorry.
But there was a lot brewing underneath.
Tragedy is, I didn't know until his death how sad he was. Or profound.
Here's a tissue for you. Profound. Indeed, profound.
Indeed.
You don't know me. This is so beautifully written.
I just, I didn't know. I'm so proud of him. He was a great writer.
Yes, this is really remarkable work.
As you can tell, the nano thing, the gag going on in there is you can't tell whether he's laughing or crying because the kid wasn't any of those things. The kid, as portrayed in the movie, is just horrible.
Even when you're watching it, I mean, you can't tell from the sound.
And actually, when you're watching it, you can't. He's faking crying, but actually, it looks like he's laughing because he can't believe he's saying this thing. So look, it's a very, very dark comedy about suicide, which has that kind of edge to it of, for example, Rushmore or some of the Wes Anderson movies. I suppose you could, to some extent, trace a line back to black satire comedies like Heathers, and it's Robin Williams playing a deliberately, spiky role. It's directed by that guy Bobcat Goldthwait, who, if you remember, started...
Bobcat Goldthwait,
yeah.
Good old Catty. What's he up to now?
Well, he started out as a bit part player in the Police Academy sequels, wasn't it? And then he directed that really odd, awkward... I can't even talk what it's about. A comedy which was called Sleeping Dogs, and then was called Stay, about subjects that we don't want to discuss on the radio. It's sort of
what do you mention
6
it
minutes
for, then?
Because I'm saying that he directed it before, and if you know that movie, so if you know, you'll know what I'm talking about, and if you don't, I'm not going to say it out loud because it's inappropriate. Fine. Then in that case, put yourself in the ignorant category. And out there's millions of people who go, we know exactly what you're talking about.
There aren't.
Thanks for putting that straw in the wind, and now we know what you mean.
I don't think so.
So the interesting thing about it is, on the one hand, the idea of seeing Robin Williams doing a movie which is, a dark satire, which is scabrous about, the cult of suicide, about the cult of self-destruction, which is intelligently done. On the other, there are some things in it that you think, blimey, and the rough edges on this really are fairly rough. I mean, there's the depiction of this character as unlovable, not the Robin Williams character, the son character, unlovable, is really, really full on. That what laughs there are, and there are actually quite a few laughs, are, hollow and isn't the world a decrepit and unpleasant place kind of laughs. It attempts at the end to move towards some level of, I thought, rather perfunctory redemption, which to some extent spoiled it for me. It sort of felt like because Robin Williams is in it, we must end on a note of at least the hint of personal affirmation. So eat, pray, love, affirm, rebirth, blah-de-blah, go diving, actually, in the end. But I did laugh. I was genuinely taken aback by just how out there some of the comedy was. I think that its central idea about the cult of suicide is well thought through, and it's interesting to see that in the BBFC notes, when they're talking about giving it the certificate, they say that teenagers are likely to understand this and see that the film rejects the idea that suicide is glamorous or heroic. Quite more than that, it goes well into detail about the lunacy of somehow being enthralled by the cult of suicide. And so it has, a serious message underneath it. It's a very dark, very edgy, very scabrous black comedy. It's certainly the best thing that Robin Williams has done in a long time. Not a masterpiece, but there were plenty of moments in it in which I thought, blimey, I really didn't expect to see Robin Williams in that film.